Welcome to Bracket Bash of the podcast. We take a bracket of 32, 64, 128 or more in, banter our way down to a winner. I am your humble host this week, Freddie Fisher. And next to me is a woman who deserves to be on every single Disney episode that we have, and that would be Nancy. Nancy, how you doing there, dear?
I'm doing good. I'm here embracing my inner redheaded favorite stepchild of the Bastards family, uh Anastasia. If you know, you know.
We will be talking about Anastasia this week because we're talking about things that Disney did not previously owns but owns now, because apparently Disney owns a majority of content out there. How they are not technically a monopoly, I have no idea, but more power to them. Because eventually this stuff will be coming on Disney Plus, which is an app that I have, and I appreciate that. We only have the two of us today, which means the audience vote will be getting the third vote. As always, it's written on my board right now. However, we do have Past the Parcel because my very, very good friend Kate, who is my co-host on the recasting call, will be has sent me her comments on these movies and her ranking on these movies. So anytime that we decide to pass the personal on this one, I will see if I can look up any. I we will look up her comments and her ranking on these to figure out who would actually win it. And I'm gonna try to, if she does have comments on movies that we don't get her comments on before they leave, I will try to get her comments if she does happen to have any. But that's past the partial. That worked all the way up to and including the quarterfinal round. You can use this as many times as you want between the two of us, since there's only three people, and I want her to be involved as much as possible. Steal a vote, as always, works up the same way, with the exception of being used as many times as possible. That can only be used once. Instead of giving your vote away, you'll be taking somebody else's vote. And as math works, two votes out of three moves on the vote no matter what. So it's an automatic bid to the next round. Blowing your load, as always. We vote round robin style on this show. And if you're one of the first people to go and don't want to be one of the first people to go, you can blow your load. Blow your load, you are no longer the first one to go. You'll be the last person to go. And if somebody else wants to blow their load after you, they are going after you, and you are now going in the round turn that you were supposed to be going before. Audience, since they have a vote, they cannot blow their load in this one, even though that they would originally have those lifelines. Audience does not have these lifelines, so it just comes down to myself and Nancy. However, if you do happen to blow your load, as always, you will hear this sound.
Oh!
That gets different every time that I do this thing. I've been trying to figure out things to say instead. All right, so we're gonna start us off. I'm gonna start us off on this one, and it is between Good Morning Vietnam, which I'm not gonna be doing that entire the way that Robin Williams says. This is absolutely wonderful, and I will ruin it, and I don't want to spit on his grave. Is it Good Morning Vietnam or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I
Oh
I love Robin Williams, I really do, but Good Morning Vietnam is not his best work.
no.
It's slow, it's a bit preachy, understandably so. It's just highly the way that he does the entire Good Morning Vietnam and the ad libs and everything, which he's highly known for, not only in that movie, but in movies like Aladdin and Flubber and other stuff that you have back out there that's just really good ad libs, but the movies aren't really that good, with the exception of Aladdin. Aladdin was fantastic. However, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a sleeper and a half.
Yes.
It really is. It's
Yes.
one of those movies that you get the pleasure of watching it because somebody told you to watch it. It's not really advertised that well. It's not really a banger of a movie. It's one of those things that which is out there, and it's a good it's a good movie. It's weird as hell.
Mhm.
It's a good movie, and it gave me a whole better respect for dolphins than I had before. So I'm gonna go with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on this one. Nancy, is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Good Morning Vietnam?
Oh, like massive respect to Robin Williams, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be talking about him again. I might be wrong, but however, I agree with you. It's not his strongest. Um, Also, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is in Disney's massive catalog of acquired properties and sister companies' properties, it is a diamond in the rough. It is a hidden gem. It is incredible. I saw this in theaters. Um, my 13th birthday, I would always go to the movies because I love going to the movies, and this was one of the only movies that was appropriate for my age range at the time. And so we went to go see this, and me, the other girls in my birthday party, my dad, my mom, we were all, like, so, like, in love with this movie. We thought this movie was so hilarious. Everyone was loving it. To this day, my husband and I is when, my husband, David, or Angus, some of you may know, will come in and go, "Hey, I have a question for you," or either one of us will say, "I have a question." We'll always go, "42."
Yep.
That's just how we answer. And like there's so much from this movie that's just is ingrained. So long and thanks for all the fish. Just like so much about this movie is like in my DNA that I have to go with Hitchhiker's Guide.
Hitchhiker's Guide gets its second vote, which means it will be moving on. However, the audience decided against it. It was a 12 vote. Yeah, I can't do simple math today. 12 vote difference in that entire thing. Hitchhiker's Guide gets the vote and the win. Kate did not have words to say on this one, but she did rank it at 15 out of 32 on this one. But Hitchhiker moves on. That's a long movie to write out. Nancy starts us off. Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
is it Girl Next Door or Deuce Bigalow, American Gigolo?
Okay. Well, I mean, I've dabbled on other shows about my whole feeling on the comedy genre, so we will not go there. However, I will say I can tolerate a Girl Next Door a little bit better. So I'm giving a vote to Girl Next Door.
Gets a vote. The audience between Girl Next Door and Deuce Bigalow, and a 12 vote difference. Girl Next Door gets another one. I'm going to go Girl Next Door as well, just for the simple fact that there, the I'm not going to say subject of it, but it could have gone so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
But it actually has kind of a nice wrap up, no pun intended, to the end of it. And there's so many really funny scenes in this one. And I say to my wife as often as I can when I get when I'm washing my hands. And she's never seen this movie, so she doesn't get the reference, but I do. And it makes me laugh. When I'm washing my hands, I'll look at her straight in the face and go really sexy voice, really girl sexy voice, and goes, "I'm all wet," and she laughs, but
Yeah.
catch the reference, which makes it so much better. Because eventually she's gonna actually watch the movie because it's gonna be on TV or something, and she's gonna be like, "Oh my god," type thing. Girl Next Door moves on to the next round. Again, Kate does not have anything to have to say for Girl Next Door, but it not Girl Next Door. Sorry, Deuce Bigelow. Let's see what she wrote for Deuce Bigelow. It is uh, wow, in the lower section on this one. Deuce Bigelow is ranked at number 29 for Kate, and she wrote, "My mom said I'm not allowed to watch it." So
Um. Hey, Kate. My mom also told us that we were not allowed to watch it because I remember was saying like, "Hey, this movie's coming out." Mom's like, "Nope, no." Mm-mm.
um, Rob Schneider's been getting into some serious shit lately too. So
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, good for him for standing on his beliefs, but it is what it is. The audience starts us off. We'll be going with another Rob Schneider pick, and that is Hot Chick or Men in Tights, and a 37 vote difference. So a real probably one of the biggest differences that we have on the first round. It is 100% Men in Tights. It's also 100% Men in Tights for me as well. So Nancy, what's your vote?
It's 100% Men in Tights for me as well. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the comedy genre, but, like, I love everything Mel Brooks touches. This film is, like, so chef's kiss perfect that, like, it needs to be respected. Also, I find it hilarious it's now owned by Disney because they made fun of, so much of Disney films as well as Prince of Thieves, which was, I think it was like Walden or Touchstone, but was Disney's adult,
Yeah,
film company of the time,
not
and
adult movies, but
not adult, but, like,
little bit more than what it
yeah.
is.
Disney was considered for kids, and then, I think it's Touchstone or whatever, they were considered for, mom and dad. Um, so but, like, they made so much fun of Disney and Men in Tights, and now Men in Tights is owned by Disney, which is hilarious.
Well, minute tights will be moving on off of that. The audience agrees. I agree. You agree. So it's a three and out on that one. Hot chick for Kate got out of 32. Ended up uh, on the higher side of this one, if I can find it.
For a Rob Schneider movie, I kind of enjoy it, and I'm Rob Schneider is one of those. There's several comedians who just I know there are people who like them, but I just could never get into their movies, and he's one of those. But I honestly say of his filmography, Hot Chick is one of my upper ones, and I don't like comedies.
My favorite Rob Schneider bit was probably 51st Dates.
Yeah. Yeah, 50 First Dates is I also that's also up top for Rob Schneider. That's also probably my favorite thing for Adam Sandler. Um,
I mean, the movie concept itself is a little problematic, but uh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Speaking of problematic, Kate replies, number 13, hot chick, by the way, out of the 32, replies, you can put your weed in there, quote unquote. It's it's still said it's still said constantly to this day, and to be honest, was probably the real theme of my mom's wedding.
Also, I'll say what I hear all the time when speaking of hot chick is, "It's me, Jessica."
Yeah.
I see that all the time on Instagram.
Either way, Rob Schneider goes 0 and 2. Both of the movies previously are going 3 and 0. Next up, I start this off. It is either going to be Grandma's Boy or Weekend at Bernie's. I know you don't like comedies,
Mhm.
but Grandma's Boy is probably one of the funniest. I I call them stoner movies
Yeah.
because that's pretty much what it is. Grandma's Boy is just one of the funniest stoner movies, and to be owned by Disney now, which is such a clean for their their surface is such a clean cut type
Yeah.
thing. It still makes me laugh so much. And for my boy Q, because Q is a huge fan of this movie, like he quotes it way too much. I'm gonna go with Grandma's Boy off of this one. Nancy, is it Grandma's Boy? A weekend at Bernie's.
So as much as we were talking before the recording that like Weekend at Bernie's is kind of like in the cultural zeitgeist where I think you and I said like neither one of us had seen it, but we knew what the movie was. I've seen Grandma's Boy, so I'm gonna vote with Grandma's Boy. Um, I and that was also is that was I was on a bus ride, so I was a captive audience and with a bunch of 17-year-olds, and it was a whole bunch of stoner movies, and that was the one that like I remember watching and not wanting to gorge my eyes out. So I'm going Grandma's Boy.
Grandma's Boy gets to vote. Weekend at Bernie's gets the audience vote off of this one with a 13 vote difference. So it does. Grandma's Boy moves on 2-1 to the next round. Kate, however, for Weekend at Bernie's, gave it out of 32, went 21, so it's in the bottom half of it, but still
Yeah.
higher ranked on that side. Weekend at Bernie's, my first college mascot was named Bernie for the Saint Bernard dog. It was a very capital letters, very Catholic school, and I lasted a whole semester. So Uh, so not very many weekends with Bernie on her. So
I mean, hey.
Grandma's Boy moves on 2-1 to the next round. Nancy, you gonna start this one off. It is either uh I'm gonna let you know right now that all of your lifelines are still intact, so you're more
Okay.
than free to use them. Is it Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Oh no! Oh no! So a little bit for anyone who's listening who may not know some of the like backstory on me, because this is important, and this is I think why Freddie said it reminded me of my lifelines. My husband and I have a um very entangled relationship with Rocky Horror Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture Show is one of my husband's favorite movies. We were cosplayers for Rocky Horror Picture Show for a long time. Listen to our backstage. We go into a very funny story about Rocky Horror Picture Show. Um, I have ducks of that character in our office. However, I'm a big Disney fan. We cannot like discount all the lore and all the importance of Who Framed Roger Rabbit and what Roger Rabbit was supposed to be to Disney in the 90s. So I am going to blow my load for right now and let Freddie go first.
Oh!
Hear the audience vote as well.
Yeah, well, the audience vote actually goes first on this one. The audience between Roger Rabbit and Rocky Horror Picture Show, it is a 32 vote difference. So,
I'm
uh,
not surprised.
uh, Roger Rabbit took out Rocky Horror in the first round. So,
Listen, we're us diehard Rocky Horror fans. We are few, but we are loud and obnoxious.
and I agree with you. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not a huge fan of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know why. I've never. It's not a bad movie, but it's like Star Wars. I think it's it. I give the same ranking as far as Star Wars and Godfather and Citizen Kane and stuff like that. People think these movies are 8, 9s, and 10s, and they're really not. They're
Yeah,
6s and 7s at most.
yeah,
It's just it is what it is. However, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a tale of two movies.
yep.
The first spoiler alert for a movie that's like 50 years old at this point. Actually, I think it's like 40. No, 75. So 50 years old. It'd be 50 years old this year. Rocky Horror Picture Show. About the time Meatloaf dies,
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole different movie.
Yep.
Everything up to that point is absolutely fantastic. The music great and whatever. When Meatloaf dies, it becomes super weird. So as much as the downturn that you had between Godfather 1 and Godfather 2, which is essentially the same story, and I'm taking it back. Godfather 2 and Godfather 3. Because Godfather 2 realistically is not that bad. But Godfather 3 is god awful. So the downturn that you had between Godfather 2 and Godfather 3 is kind of the equivalent you had between the first half of Rocky Horror Picture Show and the second half of Rocky Horror Picture Show. Having said that, the first half still is better than the entirety of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So I'm gonna go with Rocky Horror Picture Show off of this one. I'm gonna switch me to the tie-breaking decision. Do you want to know how Kate what numbers Kate decided off of this?
Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what numbers Kate decided.
Okay. It is looks like 12 and 19.
Who was at 12 and who was at 19?
Roger Rabbit was 12 and 19 was Rocket Horror Picture Show.
Okay, I will say with between Kate's vote and the audience vote, I do feel confident. I will acknowledge like Roger Rabbit I agree with you. It's one of those movies where it's like me and David have both have watched it recently when we got Disney Plus, because like I study a lot about Disney and I know that this movie is very this movie and all of the behind the scenes stuff with it is tied to so much of the Disney decade and the drama of like Michael Eisner and Steven Spielberg and all that, that it is so important. And it's such a cultural milestone. However, I do agree with you. I'm not a massive fan. In fact, as a kid, um, Judge Christopher Lloyd completely scarred me for life with this movie, because my parents showed it. I was like 4 or 5. I have siblings who are much older and who like had watched this movie. I saw this movie when I was 4 or 5, and this certain scene in that movie did not dwell well with me.
There's
So
a couple scenes
um
involving Christopher Lloyd that are really not for kids. The entire shoe dipping
I
scene, for one.
yeah, I saw that. I was like 5. I had siblings who were tweens. And so and I have another sibling who's like 3 years older than me. So I was the youngest one, but that was scarred me for life. And that made me for a while very creeped out by Christopher Lloyd. Um so the shoe dipping one that haunts my nightmares to this day. That all being said, because since people have voted for it, I'm going to put my vote on Rocky Horror. The movie is very sentimental to me. The movie is very important to me. I will also say in defense and in for my Rocky Horror love, so much of Rocky Horror is not as much about the movie and the quality of the movie, but it's of the fans and of the community that Rocky Horror fans have created. This very welcoming, inclusive, and very strange community of theater kids who gather on Halloween and throw toilet paper at each other and just like scream back at a movie screen. Um like to the point where again, talking about lines me and my husband use is there's when someone I think I feel safe saying this on the Bastards when either one of us says, "Okay, I'm coming," is the other one, mainly if it's David, will respond. So's Brad.
Uh, on a complete side note, off of that one too, for anybody who absolutely loves the term Easter eggs in movies, Rocky Horror Picture Show is actually the beginning of Easter eggs in film
Yeah.
because it was so cold on that set that the director of the movie wanted them to keep moving and everything else because the house itself was not a good house. Like it leaked and the drafts were there, so it was wet and
And
everything
the
else.
majority of them are wearing lingerie as well.
Yeah, and more was the stuff that they shouldn't have been wearing in cold weather. Rocky Horror Pictures they ended up putting Easter eggs out for people to find.
Yeah.
And rumor has it, I've never seen it, but rumor has it that you can actually find a couple of those Easter eggs still in the movie itself because they never found all of them.
Yep.
So uh, some of them have made it onto film, so it's something for you eagle-eyed viewers out there who wants to go out and watch Rocky Horror Picture Show again for the millionth time. Go ahead and check that one out as well. So, but Rocky Horror Picture Show moves on 2-1 to the next round. Roger Rabbit, Kate, her vote on here, which again was ranked 12 out of the 32, says iconic in all bold letters. Love the inter studio collaboration. So nice little blur for that one. Moves on. Next up, audience starts us off. It is either Anastasia or Spirited Away.
Mm.
in a 5-vote difference, Anastasia gets that one. I'm going to give it to Anastasia as well, simply because since I did not vote for Robin Williams in the first matchup I had, which again hurts, I will be voting for Robin Williams in this particular one because
He's not an Anastasia.
he plays Batty.
No, that's Hank Azaria.
I thought he played. I could have swore he played Batty.
You're thinking of Ferngully.
Oh,
He plays a bat in Ferngully.
well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Anastasia is great too, and I've seen parts of Spirited Away, but I've never seen the entire thing. Spirited Away and Ponyo are two movies that I've seen bits and pieces of, but I've never actually seen all of them. And I've been
Yeah,
told that I should, but
you
as we,
should.
from everybody who has listened to the uh, Bastards crossover with PF Jeremiah, I'm not a huge anime fan.
Boo.
I know, because apparently I am the quote unquote asshole that decided to put a spoof movie, in the drama section. So, like, that was me. Anastasia gets my vote either way. Nancy finishes up. Spirit Away or
Yeah, so,
Anastasia?
yeah, so as much as well, I can talk later. Yeah, no. So Robin Williams played Batty in Ferngully. The Bat character in Anastasia is Bartok, um just
There you go.
for education for you, and that's played by Hank Azaria. Um, anyway, I'm going with Spirited Away because I am an anime person, and Spirited Away is another one of these films on this list that is incredibly sentimental to me. Um, I I was the right age for this film. I was 12 when it was released in America and when it won the Oscar. Um, I adore this movie. I adore the art. It got me into anime, like it got me further into anime. I'd already had been like drugged with anime as like a kid for like stuff like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Sailor Moon. And like this just made me like this latched onto me. The storytelling, the art, this made me a huge Hayao Miyazaki fan, and I could talk wax poetically about Hayao Miyazaki. Also, Disney was so involved with the voice dub of this because John Lasseter and Hayao Miyazaki were friends. Um, Possibly still to this day are friends. They were very good friends, and Hayao Miyazaki had a bad past with other American studios dubbing his films, and John Lasseter was the only person he trusted to dub his film. And so that's also, if you listen to the English dub, for those who like to watch your anime with dub, I know there is two different camps here. Um, that's why you're going to hear so many Disney voices. You have the actress who played Meg, you have the actor who plays Max in the Goofy movie, you have David Ogden Stiers, you have the actress who played Lilo playing the main character, you have Jonathan Ratzberger from all the Pixar films. That's why you have so many Disney actors in Spirited Away, because this was really the first one that they did. Um, or this was one of the first ones they did, and they just got a lot of their people that they worked with recently to come in to play these characters. And yeah, all the flowers for this movie. It's incredible. So much about about the bathhouse and Yubaba's aesthetic and Zaniba's aesthetic is what I would like my home to feel like. To the point where if someone makes those skull phones, I would like one.
Kate agrees with you. In fact, Spirited Away ranks at number 3 out of 32. So up on the podium on this one. Says, far as Spirited Away goes, her comment says, to be honest, even if I knew it would turn me into a pig, I would 100% eat the food that the
Oh yeah.
parents did. It looks amazing.
If I will just say that Spirited Away of there's been a discussion like among among Ghibli fans of if you could live in a world in one Ghibli movie, which one? I feel like Spirited Away for me is that and Howl's Moving Castle are really high on the list. I would take Spirit Away because Howl's Moving Castle takes place during like a civil war, and I don't want to be part of that. But
I'm not a
Spirited Away, it's just that world is beautiful.
I'm not a huge Ghibli fan. Like I love the artwork to it, but I can't tell you which is which as far as movies goes. But the same type of artwork would for me would be like Kiki's Delivery Service,
Yeah,
which I can't remember
Ghibli is
is Ghibli or not off the top of my head.
it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, no, it is.
So
Trust me, our son's nursery was Ghibli. That's how much we love Ghibli. Is when we were pregnant with our son, we were just like, what do we want? We want something geeky. And like Dave said no to Star Wars and Harry Potter. And I said no to like full on going superhero. And we're like, oh, let's do Ghibli. So we had like Totoro and we had Kiki, and one of our friends had like a custom made picture for him of like the little spirit sprites from Nausicaa. We had the sprites all over the place. Is like we had like a full blown Ghibli nursery for our son, and we still have some Ghibli sketches that a family member made for us that hangs up in our house. So we love Ghibli so much.
and all of those that you mentioned have pretty much stood the test of time. I think Harry Potter has waned more than any of the rest of them have.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have diehard Star Wars fans, uh, diehard Ghibli fans, diehard superhero fans, and everything else. But I think Harry Potter, you have diehard Potter fans,
Oh yeah.
but there's less of them than I think the rest of them. And I think Ghibli is one of those things that it doesn't matter how old you get, you're always still kind of a kid.
Oh yeah.
So it's something that you can return to.
And Ghibli is something where there's like it's this Ghibli is when I meet people who say like, oh well, animation is for kids. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show you Ghibli because yes, Ghibli can be for families. But Ghibli is also can be incredibly dark, incredibly serious. Is Ghibli is shows you that animation is an art form that we use when we cannot do something in real time. And Ghibli is very good at that. Where there is so much that even in the day today with special effects, there's so much that work in a Ghibli movie that could never work in live action, or at least not feel as beautiful and real and breathtaking. There's a reason why there are people who are so like devoted to Ghibli. There's a reason why there is a Ghibli theme park in Japan with no rides that you just walk into the sets and the houses. Look it up, people online. It's a true thing. It's a theme park dedicated to Ghibli. There's no rides, no gimmicks. It's just recreated sets from Ghibli movies. It's very rare to find things because they also have a no camera policy. So only a few people get to share what the park looks like. So look it up. It's breathtaking. I would love to go to Japan to see it.
Anastasia moves on. Spirit Away stays in round one. Next up, I start us off. It is either going to be Alvin and the Chipmunks or Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Lesser of two evils here.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, although yelling at my kid every once in a while, which I do, I'll admit to that. It always reminds me entire Alvin, Alvin, Alvin,
Alvin!
whatever. So just for life in general, and it's splitting hairs on this one, I'm gonna go for Alvin and the Chipmunks. Nancy, is it Alvin and the Chipmunks or Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
Uh, First off, I'm not really into Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That book series came out around the time I would be in the reading demographic, but I was a little bit older than it. It's just I never attached. However, I'm a kid of the 90s who is siblings of kids from the 80s. I grew up with Alvin and the Chipmunks. So despite the live action movie that we are talking about not necessarily being great or me being a little bit older than that movie, um, I know this property. I have history with this property. Um, I saw that movie with my younger sibling, and like I I know the characters, so I'm gonna go with Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Al the Chipmunks gets a third nod off of that one. The audience agrees with you
Yeah.
as well in a 5 vote difference. Kate agrees with you as well in ranked number 27, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. She says, pretty sure a cast member murdered someone.
Yeah. Also, I'll just say I think Diary of Wimpy Kid, I know that there are people who do like that franchise. However, they're younger than me. I just think that like between you, me, and Kate, we're all kind of around the same like millennial generation. Where I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid is more like a Gen Z kind of thing. Just from like because I know my younger sibling and uh my nephew who are around the same age in their early 20s, they both have like talked about Diary of the Wimpy Kid, and they have both said, "Oh, I like the movies. I've seen the movies and stuff." Um, so like, and they've read the books and stuff. So I think it's just one of those things where I see that I know there's people who like that book series and the movie series. I just never could connect to it.
It is what it is. Album moves on 3-0. Last up, Nancy starts us off. Nancy, baseball movies. Is it
Oh,
Rookie of the Year or Sandlot?
I'm going Sandlot. Sandlot is a gift that keeps giving.
Sandlot gets a vote. The audience, by the way, I think this is the largest round one difference. In a 52 vote difference, Sandlot gets that vote as well. Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go for Sandlot as well. Rookie of the Year, which will not be moving on. Kate, 20s. Dun, 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 dun. Why is this so hard? Okay. Rookie of the Year, she says, I know I saw it. I know I liked it, but I could not tell you anything further. I like
Same
Rookie of the
here.
Year just for the simple fact that I'm a Cubs fan. And it with all the movies out there who are talking about other teams like the Braves and the Indians and the Yankees and Dodgers and all that stuff out there. It's nice to have a Cubs movie because
Yeah.
I'm a Cubs fan, so I appreciate Rookie of the
Oh,
Year.
so that's why my dad likes the 2000s rom-com uh Fever
Fever
Pitch.
Pitch, yeah,
It's just it's solely because it's a Red Sox film.
yeah.
And my dad is if like anyone who knows my dad, like you wouldn't think he'd like a rom-com, but he likes Fever Pitch because it's a Red Sox film and it feels
I'm
like a
a,
very
you know what? That
true.
is a horrible movie. It really is. Like everything about that movie is bad, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's like a Hallmark movie. It's like
Yeah, that's what
I'll tell you, I'll tell everybody out there now. I am a fan of Hallmark movies. I am currently binge watching the series A Good Witch or The Good
mhm.
Witch or whatever it is before I end up watching the TV show. And the TV show is I think 7 seasons now or something like that. So I'll be watching that for a while. And Christmas time is coming up. So the moment Halloween is over, I'm gonna go on my yearly binge of watching Hallmark Christmas movies. So every single night there is going to be either a Christmas movie, like a Christmas classic movie, like for instance Home Alone or something like that, or a Hallmark movie, or possibly both, because I might just stay up and watch either of them or both of them because they're both freaking fantastic.
I will say that there is definitely place in the world for like media that is like corny or cheesy media.
It's
I
just
mean,
wholesome.
vertical dramas right now are taking off, and I am all here for it. I love myself vertical dramas because they're just Hallmark movies without Hallmark's budget. um, so they're like, imagine a Hallmark movie, but worse script.
Well, and the thing about
There's
Hallmark movies are not movies. They're it's
TV
like a
specials,
it's like a
basically.
2-hour episode of a TV
Yeah,
show. That's all it
but
is.
so many of them are like there's one that like it's one of my favorites. I can't remember its name. It was like so good. There's just there's this really good thing about Hallmark specials. Hallmark movies, Hallmark specials, Hallmark Gold Crown presentations. They make me happy.
I might be able to name the movie if you start describing it. To be
Okay,
perfectly
so
honest,
it's World War II. Um, she is pregnant out of wedlock, and her father has her go. She travels to, I'm pretty sure it's California, because she meets two Japanese sisters who are in an internment camp. But she's living on a farm with a gentleman who I think his brother had died, and like they marry so that like it's not a scandal because she's pregnant. Um, but there's also like, and it's like in the middle of World War II, they talk about like internment camps. They talk about like the status of women. They kind of go into, even with him, he has like us. He's can't serve in the war because of a health issue
hmm
and because of like an invisible disability. Um, and like it's just like this incredibly deep film that like it tackles all of these serious topics but still like has like that love story kind of golden rainbow where like a Hollywood film may make this like more dark and edgy,
yeah,
but it, like it's just
that's pre
I
2015,
I've
so
been
much.
searching for this one. I saw it, it came out over, I was still living with my parents, so this would probably be about 15 years ago. Um, but this is a movie as I adore this movie so much. If anyone knows the name of it, I believe it was, since I saw it with my parents, it was probably one of the ones they did in partnership with with CBS. So it was one of those that they would show on CBS like on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at like 9 o'clock for one
Uh,
weekend,
the
and then
Magic
they
of
would show it.
Ordinary Days.
I think that might be it. I'll have to
So,
look it up.
a pregnant out of wedlock and pregnant out of wedlock, an educated young woman is pressured by her father to engage in marriage with a lonely farmer in this drama set in World War II.
Yep,
It's
yep, that's
2000.
it. That's it.
It's 2005.
20 years.
Yeah.
Listen, Freddie, I don't know how time works.
No, no, and that's what I'm saying. It's like because I'm a fan of like a lot of the I'll go through because the Hallmark Channel, which my wife gets, and I'm appreciative because I watch it too. The they have channels or like kind of folders dedicated to each of their major stars, and I'll just go and
Yes.
binge watch the stars one. There's a TV show that they had have and should be coming back in January ish called "When Calls to Heart," and
When Calls to Heart,
even though
yes.
it does have some serious biblical references, but it's also the old west, so
I love When Calls to Heart.
but it's all
Um,
it's the old west, but it's in Canada, so
well,
it's a
yeah,
little
because
different.
so it started off on the CBC, because
Yeah.
that's where I first watched it, was on the CBC, because yeah, I won't go into where I'm from, but I watched CBC a lot when I was younger. We a majority. Um, but like I would watch like When Calls the Heart and Murdoch Mysteries, and
Yep, which is
oh,
on
I
there too.
love those so much. Oh, and also speaking of Hallmark though, the Aurora Tea Garden Mysteries was when I was pregnant. That was mine and David's like when we couldn't sleep at night between me being pregnant or when we had like a colicky newborn, we would be watching Aurora Tea Garden. Like just like rocking a baby, or like me just like walking around our living room, and we just would have Aurora Tea Garden on our living room or our bedroom TV just constantly.
Well, and see, that's one of the cool things about Hallmark movies because they all kind of follow the same script. You
Yeah.
you know what's going to happen. Like the
Oh yeah.
boy meets girl, uh, boy boy or girl witnesses something or overhears something that they only overhear half of it, or they're trying to make a decision, or uh, somebody's trying to get involved get involved with their lives and everything else, and then one of them has to either move away or make a decision, and then they do. Then they come back 5 minutes later, and everything's right, and the movie ends.
Mhm.
This is why I
Yeah.
call it. It's not. They're not Hallmark movies. They are episodes to a TV that's only that's it's a 2 hour TV show, and they're all the current ones are exactly 1 hour and 24 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which
And they basically interchange like the same cast members to the
yep,
point where me and Dave were watching one, because now Netflix is making their own version of Hallmark Christmas movies, and me and David were watching one, and they outright made a joke because they had their main actress and then one of their side actors. They have played romantic couples in like three different Hallmark movies. So they literally had a joke where they looked at each other saying, "Have I met you before?" "No." "Okay." And me and Dave were like, "What?" And we're like, "Oh, it's a Hallmark joke."
you've seen the seen the show Last Man Standing, right? Or at least heard of it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Tim Allen's wife in this show had a part in his new show called Shifting Gears,
Mhm,
where they they kind of they she lost her husband recently. He lost the wife like a couple of years ago. Everything else recently as well. So they met at the entire funeral home on Valentine's Day when they were visiting the graves, whatever,
mhm.
and they were talking about the ability of moving on and stuff like that. And he was sitting there talking to his daughter about meeting this person and kind of locking her and everything else. And she she replies later on after when they split. She's like, "It's like you just remind me too much of my previous husband." I'm like,
I love it
perfect.
when movie and TV shows just, like, do that.
It is
Um,
one of
the
those meta
Arrowverse
things, and I love it.
the Arrowverse was, like, they were so good at doing that when they casted Brandon Ralph as Adam, is they were so good at just so metaing it with him. Is it's just I love also you see that with Supernatural was they were amazing with being so meta at times.
Well, and it's always fun too because the show Haven, uh,
Hmm.
the sci-fi channel show. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time is a guy named he wrestles under the name Edge. It's currently Cope, which by the way is a terrible name, but it's Adam Copeland is the guy's name. And then he eventually brought another wrestler in there by the name of Christian, but they originally had a tag team called Edge and Christian.
Hmm.
So you see them both on the TV show, and it's kind of one of those if you know type things.
Yeah,
But Christian in the show Haven absolutely hates Edge's character.
yeah.
But then you go back to wrestling, and they're tag team partners, which is always it's just one of those weird crossovers that is absolutely fantastic.
Well, yeah. Again, going back to Arrowverse, it's like when Heatwave and Captain Cold, who are like their partners, they both their last most famous show they played brothers, and they made jokes about that.
Anyway, back to the show. Sandlot moves on 3-0 to the next round. I'll be right back right after this break. I get to uh, hold up. There you go. I had to make sure to cross off your low since you used it. I get to talk to some not yet There you
It's
go.
one of those things.
Well, no, this show has just been it's been weird, but it's been fun. Before I became a podcaster, I never imagined that all these requests for 5-star reviews did anything important. I was wrong about that, but being the bastards that we are, we're not just going to expect you to give up those 5 stars with nothing in return. I'll trade you for it. You send us a letter, a question, or anything else you deem needed along with those 5 stars. We'll not only give you a shout out on the show, but read your submission live on air. We like to call this our thank you to review. If you want to be part of the thank you to review, you can send it to our email address. That is bracket ty the number 2 and r at yahoo.com. That is uh, BRACKETTY the number 2 then r at yahoo.com to get it in. It also works if you want to be a guest on any of our shows on the ABC podcast channel. We didn't have one last week because I I completely forgot about it. It was a busy week. School starts again, so it is what it is. But I'm really glad because this week I had a special one come up because we were talking about teachers last week, and I got Miss Jackie on the show, and I also got one of my favorite not only teachers in the world, but one of my favorite teachers, my favorite people in the world, and that being Natalie Dahmer. But and today's letter kind of goes along this. So, dear bastards, thank you for the teacher love. I am a high school teacher myself, and I can tell you that people who do this do it for the love of the game. So uh, recognizing the teachers I am grateful for. Signed, Sally Smooth. My question for this: can you shout out a teacher that you think deserves some praise but may not have gotten it yet? So that is the question. I gave Nancy this question beforehand, so she had the ability to think about it. Nancy, do you have a teacher out there that you would like to give some thanks to?
Yeah, I have several. I will say first is I only have two whose names I remember precisely. I remember these teachers first off. My home ec teacher, Mrs. LeCount. Uh, Home ec is one of those things where more and more schools are making it elective or not having it. I am so thankful that I was able to have home ec. That was while it was career skills, my 8th grade year, I learned how to sew, I learned how to sort laundry and how to do laundry. I learned how to cook. Those are things that while you would think that your parents would teach you, it doesn't always happen. And this is a conversation that I've had with my husband, who was one of those people who he did not have that class and he had to learn all of it on his own in his 20s. And I'm very thankful for Mrs. LeCount for teaching me some basic skills when I was 13 to help set me up for life. Also, shout out to my high school government and economics teacher, Mr. Coyer, because my whole class was terrible to you. We were really mean to you. We made fun. He was a young teacher. We loved to embarrass him um, because he had literally graduated 2 years ahead of my oldest siblings. So we were terrible. But you have taught me more about the government than news media does, and you have made me understand what's going on in this crazy age so well. So a big shout out. I'm sorry that I was annoying in senior year, because I loved to like get me and other kids in my class loved to get under his skin. So big shout out to Mr. Coyer and Mrs. LeCount. I also would love to shout out a whole sect of teachers. As a special needs mom, my heart goes out for anyone who decides to become a special ed teacher in any variety, whether you are a resource room, a TA, or you are like my son's teachers working with children in a self contained classroom. You go through so much. You love these kids so fiercely. And you guys deserve all the flowers and all the respect for what you guys go through and how fiercely some of you fight for these kids. And I thank all of you.
I I gave some love to some teachers last week on the show, but I also realized when I was editing the show this week, which is out on Spotify now, that I missed a couple. Number one being my speech teacher, Debbie Nitchie, who started working with me in kindergarten. And that
Yeah.
was, let's say I graduated high school 20 years ago. So kindergarten would have been 35 years ago ish at this point. So there's that. Uh, she's the one who I couldn't hear. I couldn't really talk for the first couple of years of my life, even past when you're supposed to be talking, and that was due to hearing loss and everything else. And now, thanks to teachers like her and my drama teacher and a couple others that I'm going to try to mention, I'm not only doing this, but I'm officiating weddings, which is that's a public speaking thing, which is something you never really expect people with speech impediments or any kind of disabilities like that to do. It's really nice. Granted, I've also seen a wedding officiated by a dog, so I'm not to toot my own horn at all on that one. So shout out to her. I have no idea. We lost touch a long time ago. So, back when I was in high school, actually, we lost touch. So I have no idea what she's doing now. I have no idea where she's at. I don't even know if she's even with us any longer. So if anybody hears this that knows where she is or where to find her and anything else, please send her my love. Tell her that I'm still thinking about her. John Berger,
I would
go
I
ahead.
would like to echo is also a big shout out to all of my speech therapists that I've had when I was a kid through school. Mrs. Mack, Mrs. Golden, Mrs. LeBear, all of you. Massive. It's a similar thing to Freddie. Is I had so many lists. I have so many issues with my autism and stuff. You guys helped me talk and be a normal person, and now, hey, I talk Freddie out of a whole podcast for hours.
Well, and that's the thing too is that my list now isn't because of my speech infractions. It's the simple fact that my teeth are all majority of it gone, and that's a different kind of health issue. So
Yeah.
it's not really a problem that she could have fixed. John Berger, however, was a high school teacher, a high school history teacher, social studies teacher at the alternative school down in Ottumwa. He died working on a vehicle. The jack gave way and he didn't survive it. From what I'm told, we were all told he went quickly, so it is what it is. But he's one of those teachers that in an alternative school. An alternative school is a place where if people have ever seen the show the movie Matilda, it's not a place you want to go. They don't have the chokey and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a place that you want to go. It's one of those last resorts type places for a majority of people. Some people enjoy it and do better in more of a structured type thing, or they want to graduate sooner. So uh, that type of system is a work-based system where if you can get your work done, the required work done sooner, you can leave sooner. So a lot of people go down there to catch up from previous years, so they don't have to graduate late. John Berger was one of those people who made learning fun and made sure that you got your credit, however whatever worked for you. Because I know people learn in different ways. Some people like to spend time on the computer. This was when I was in high school. Computers weren't a big thing as much as they are now. Because like every student has their own laptop that is store store use, school use type thing. Back then we had like 6 or 7 screens in the classroom, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So he was on the forefront of that one.
Also, one last one. Shout out. I'm not going to say what school he's at. If you have him as your professor, um, but shout out to Professor Farnsworth out there, who's an engineering professor who is related to me very, very, very closely. Um, for often when he announces exams, going, "Good news, everyone."
Yep. I mean, if you're gonna do it, lean into it. Speaking of funny people out there, and they're really great people, and I hope Natalie hears this because her husband Dale, and Dale was my theater. He wasn't a teacher, but he taught me a lot as far as everything from set construction to sound design to how to form lighting to uh, work ethic in general. And the most important thing is to have fun and take pride in what you do. So having him as a set director, and then having my drama teacher as a drama teacher, two absolutely amazing people, end up together, getting married, and have been married for a very long time. I think they were married when I was in high school, and I've been out of high school for 20 years and growing.
Yeah.
So shout out to him as well. I don't. It's not a person that I would consider a teacher, but he deserved the same respect and type of stuff too, because he wasn't paid for that. That was, from what I understand, he wasn't really paid for that because our theater budget didn't have that kind of stuff. He was just there because he enjoyed doing it. Dwayne
Oh,
Calgar is the same way. He was the one that did all the hair and makeup and stuff like that, and I learned a lot from stuff from him too. He's still about. He had something the other day, and I'm so proud of him for this. My hometown had a straight pride parade. Okay, uh, they didn't call it that. It was a traditional marriage parade, but same damn thing. He was there, very out there gay man. Super proud of him. He's a really cool cool guy. Uh, had a sign out there and a pride flag shirt and everything else, so you could he was definitely out of place. Said it's a sign that says "I support your marriage" on it. So the balls it takes to do that, to go into a place that it's traditionally not a place that you really should go, to not really stir up trouble, but to kind of give an olive branch to show that we don't need to be divided in these type of situations, uh, is super cool, and I applaud him for that, and I show him in the same respect as I do the rest of the teachers out there. So, um, Sally, I appreciate your question. Thank you for being a teacher, by the way, because I know as a teacher you don't get paid. I don't care where you are, you don't get paid near enough.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
Sally. I'm the sibling of all of my siblings are teachers. Working in colleges, high schools, middle schools, and I know firsthand that you guys don't get enough. That some you guys also go through all sorts of things between parents and students and school budget cuts. And a big shout out to you and a big shout out for everything you're doing. And thank you.
yeah. Welcome back for the second half of round one. We're an hour into this, and we're just in the second half of round one. This is the problem that Nancy and I have when we get together and start talking, especially about Disney stuff. Um,
There was a joke on the Basters Dr. P.F. Jeremiah joke of Maya crossover about how I make everything long winded, and like I'm like, well, as a Natalia, I'm just gonna try to have short answers now, just to like stick it to Freddie.
Audience starts us off on this one in the second half of round one. It's either going to be the Water Boy or Dodgeball in a 45 vote difference on this one. Water Boy gets that particular vote. I enjoy the Water Boy, I really did, but I also considered it probably about 15 to 20 minutes too long. Like they could have cut out some scenes in that didn't really it wasn't really needed. Then again, I also think that movie kind of deserves a sequel, so it's kind of a weird spot to be in. But Dodgeball, like that movie is it, it's almost perfect for what it is. It's almost perfect. It's not too long. It's not too short. Uh, Rip Torn in that movie, who played the coach, Patches O'Houlihan, is just perfect in that role. Uh,
Alan Tudyk
uh,
is also in there.
Thank you,
And he's amazing in that
Alan
in his
Tudyk
role.
in that one. All of the other people in that one is just like, it's such great casting and everything else. I'm gonna go Dodgeball. Like it's I enjoy the Water Boy, but I think Dodgeball is just a funnier and better movie. Tie breaking decision there, Nancy.
Dodgeball. Um, um, I'm not exactly very fond of Waterboy. That's my baggage. But Dodgeball is I do have like a little soft spot in my heart for Dodgeball, especially because of Alan Tudyk.
And according to Kate on this one, Dodgeball leaves us at number 28 on her list. You should not put your weed in high quality H2O. This I didn't plan this, by the way, but this only makes this reference only makes sense if the movie Hot Chick came first, which it did. So there, Hot Chick came out last round. So Dodgeball gets that vote. Audience, of course, went for Waterboy. 2-1. Dodgeball moves on to the next round. I start this one off. It is either going to be "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" or Borat. I appreciate the movie Borat just for the simple fact that it's one of the movies on this list that has been banned in multiple
Yeah,
countries. Granted, the movie Simpsons has also been the Simpsons movie has been banned in multiple countries as well. So there's there's that. Oh brother, where art thou? I enjoy this movie. I enjoy it not for the acting, not only for the acting and for other things as well. The music in this one, uh, Soggy Bottom Boys. By the way, next year we have on somewhere on the list of selections that we're doing is bands from fictional bands from TV and movies. And I guarantee you that the Soggy Bottom Boys are going to be on that list somewhere.
so excited.
So are the both the bands from the K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes,
Because if I don't put those on there, I'm going to be crucified. But
you are.
just
At
just to
least
fuck
just by me and Bubbles.
just for just to fuck with the people who are going to crucify me, I'm going to put them against each other in the opening matchup.
That's fine. I know who I'm going to pick.
I don't. The uh the Demon's final song. I can't remember the name of the top
Your
of my head.
idol.
Yeah, I
Your
Idol. Thank
idol
you.
is good.
Idol is one of those songs that gets stuck in my head about the time I'm going to sleep, and I cannot. It's such a repetitive song. To get I don't know if people know this, but to get rid of a song in your head, you have to finish the song. Your brain
Mhm.
has to come to a conclusion to get it
Yep.
out of your head. If not, you have to think of something else that has a conclusion to and keep con, con, keep ending that particular one that has it to eventually rewrite your brain from doing whatever. So the song that never ends is not necessarily a song that you're going to want to do that with, but it may be a nice transitional song to my personal favorite is the song 110 Soldier by Coven, which is back in the 70s, but it's a song that I grew up with. Coward of the County is the same way because it's a storyline, so you know it not only does the song itself not only ends, but the story ends, and it gives you a nice little end to the entire thing. So if you ever have an earworm that you're stuck at night, try doing that. You may have to do it a couple times, but eventually the song that doesn't end will eventually leave your head. So check that one. Check that.
Yeah.
Oh brother, uh, I just enjoy the movie better. I do. So I'm gonna go with Oh Brother We're Out There on that one. Nancy, Oh Brother or Borat?
Oh no, it's so brother. It's so brother. Like I even if it wasn't one of, Angus's favorite movies of all time, it's Oh Brother because Borat sucks.
Borat sucks. Audience agrees with you, and a 21 vote difference off of that one. Borat gets in the 20s. Borat is 25 for Kate. Says, I still have the promo magnet from the theater when it came out. Speaking of that, I have a Will Ferrell magnet upstairs on my fridge. And no, it is not mine,
Wow.
but it will stay there because my kid absolutely loves it. For you guys out there who don't get this reference, I cannot stand Will Ferrell. We did an entire tournament based on Will Ferrell just to explain this fact. But Borat goes 0-3, so Oh Brother moves on 3-0. Faces another 3-0 in the next round, and that should be that connection is actually kind of funny. Audience starts us off on this one. Or wait, no, Nancy starts this one off. I do apologize. Nancy starts this off. Is it Bruce Almighty or Big?
It's Bruce Almighty.
Gets a vote.
Um, yeah, we can talk about him more, but we kind of talked before recording. Big is one of those where when I first saw it as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this is cute. This is a fun movie." I saw it at a high school musical, um, when I was a college student, and I just remember looking over to my friend and going, "I don't remember this movie being this way." He's like, "Yeah." Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna skip Kate's reaction to this until later because it's going to be until the next matchup because it's going to be regarded
Yeah.
on the next matchup because her explanation on one goes into the explanation of a different one. But
Yeah.
uh, I'm gonna go with Bruce Almighty as well for the same reason. Big is one of those movies that is absolutely great until you start thinking about it because there's a lot of gray area and when talking about movies and entertainment and stuff, gray areas are not something you really want to dive into. Uh, it should be as clear as possible. Then it's just kind of it muddies the waters and it gives a retrospect to the movie that it really shouldn't have. And Big is that type of thing. I so which sucks because realistically, other than that, it's a good movie. If they would have taken out that one particular scene and maybe a couple other nuanced things, Big might have beat Bruce Almighty. But
Yeah.
that one part is cringeworthy enough that I just don't want to deal with it again. So we'll be taking care of that later. Bruce Almighty moves on 2-1 to the next round. Now, audience starts us off on this one. Audience, it is either Shallow Hal or 10 Things I Hate About You. In a 25 vote difference, 10 Things I Hate About You gets a vote. I'm going to let Nancy finish this off because I know she has certain feelings about one of these movies. Probably both of these movies, to be perfectly honest. But uh, I'm going to go for 10 Things I Hate About You. Absolutely love this movie. I'm a Shakespeare fan, I'm a theater fan. The 10 Things I Hate About You is a retelling of the play Taming of a Shrew. Uh, and unlike the Dr. P.F. Jeremiah show that we had just came out, I personally think 10 Things I Hate About You actually outdid Shakespeare on this particular one. I think they did a better job. So I'm going to go with 10 Things I Hate About You. Nancy, 10 Things I Hate About You or Shallow Hal?
Oh, it's 10 Things I Hate About You. 10 Things I Hate About You is a movie that was so formative for me as a young woman, as a girl becoming a teenager. When I saw that movie, it shaped so much of who I am. I was a theater nerd. I loved Shakespeare, so I loved seeing a modern take of it. Also, certain awakening, which we get into in our PF Jeremiah crossover, where um, Heath Ledger, man. Heath Ledger shaped so much of who of the men I'm attracted to the point of probably one of the reasons why I am so in love with Jai Courtney, because he's a pretty Australian boy, and Heath Ledger is no longer with us. And Heath Ledger was just so incredible. His character of the bad boy was like, you don't want to love him, but he's so good and you like him so much. But also you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt and um Julia Stiles. Is that who it is?
Hmm.
Um you have the father is played by Pablo from Princess Diaries. Like, and I saw Princess Diaries before I saw this movie, and I remember, like, seeing him play the father, and it's, like, so different from Pablo that you're like, "What?" Um, it's such a good movie. I love this movie so much. On the other hand, I also have strong opinions about Shallow Hal, and it's
Nope.
that I hate Shallow Hal. I
Why I
hate
said both.
Shallow Hal so much. Shallow Hal is I love Jack Black. I think he's very funny. This movie, I will outright tell you, no. My husband tries to defend this movie to me. I'm like, no, I absolutely hate this film. It makes me so mad. Um, I don't find it funny. And so like that's my thing is between the two of them, it's a slaughter.
I think Shout How I like what they were trying to do. I I I,
Yeah.
I like
I do like what they were trying to do.
I like the intent behind it, but it's been done so many times. Um,
Yeah.
She's All That is another movie that kind of does the same
It
thing. Ugly Duckling, looking beyond what you normally see. Granted, in She's All That, she physically on both sides, she's a great looking person. Uh,
yeah.
but this one brings weight into it, and fat shaming
Yeah.
is never something you ever really want to do. So, I mean,
I will say
it
that
is what it is.
David is good about trying to defend a movie, and I give David props because he's had to defend this movie to me so many times. I'm just like, nope, no, sorry.
Okay. So, Kate's response to the two previous movies that left us being
Yeah,
Big and Shallow Hal. We start with Shallow Hal. At number 31, Shallow Hal. This age like milk in a sippy cup in the back of the seat of a minivan.
yep,
Big. This is the banana next to the cup of milk. Uh, yeah, this is the banana next to the cup of milk. Interesting story concept until you realize how old he is in the relationship they are trying to make happen, which is this is something that we've already touched. But both of those comments went together, so I made sure to read them off at the same time. 10 Things moves on 3-0 and makes it a 2-1 in the next round. I start this one off. It is either Meet the Spartans or Free Guy. I enjoyed Free Guy. I did. I'm a Ryan Reynolds fan. Majority of the stuff that he does, except for voices. Voices kind of threw me off a little bit, but the majority of the stuff I enjoyed. He always plays the same character in a majority of his
yeah,
movies. I gotta appreciate that. But Meet the Spartans, I don't usually enjoy spoof movies like scary movie and disaster movie and stuff like that. I've never really enjoyed those. Meet the Spartans is is the right balance between comedy and stupid,
yeah,
which are two completely different things. People say, "Well, stupid is comedy." No, it's not. Stupid is stupid.
no,
Comedy is comedy. There's a balance between the two of them, and I think Meet the Spartans is it's good, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go on the offset on this one, and I'm gonna go Meet the Spartans on my vote. Nancy, is it Free Guy or Meet the Spartans?
yeah. I will say that like I'm very much of a I feel like a lot of modern spoof movies just they don't hit as well as some of the spoof movies of lore, aka Mel Brooks's catalog. Um, but Meet the Spartans, I have heard. It's not necessarily my bread and butter because I've said before. However, Free Guy is. So I'm going with Free Guy. Um, love him or hate him with current events. Ryan Reynolds is good at what he does. And he's good at playing these sarcastic kind of types of characters. And Free Guy was a very, very fun movie to watch.
So your final is?
My final's Free Guy.
Yeah, Free Guy gets it. Well, it gets to win as well because the audience will be going for Free Guy as well in a 17 vote difference. I'm not mad about that. I'm really not. I kind of figured
Yeah.
I was going to be on the losing end, which is why I said I'm going to go for the offset. 2-1. Kate did not have anything to really say about it about Meet the Spartans, but she did rank it at looks like 30. Yeah. So her bottom three were the bottom three that the last three that we just took care of. Next up, Nancy starts us off. Nancy, is it Horton Hears a Who or Ice Age?
Okay, so I will say Ice Age is a movie that has legs. The first one is, is perfect. Amazing. Great. Also Alan Tudyk again as the Dodos. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and Jack Black's in there, Dennis Leary, Romano, John Leguizamo. Great cast. It's a wonderful movie. However, the franchise is way too big and it is the only good movie in the franchise. So for that reason, we need to talk about the underrated, underloved, and not enoughly appreciated Horton Hears a Who, because that movie is incredible. It also has a phenomenal cast. Isla Fisher, Steve Carell, Jim Carrey, Carol Burnett, Will Arnett. We could go on with the number of great comedic actors in there. It is so fun. It is so heartwarming, and the message is so wonderful. And little emo Jojo, who I might have had a crush on him when the movie came out. Um, and it's just I love this movie so much. And there there the ending where they start thinking I can't fight this feeling anymore lives in my head forever. Is That's just my little happy seeing Katie float off in space. I'm going for Horton Hears a Who because it is a perfect little movie and I love it dearly.
Horton Hears a Who gets a vote. Ice Age gets the audience vote off of this one in a 27 vote difference. I am going to pass the parcel to Kate on this one. Kate does not have anything to say about either movie, but in a one space ranked difference at excuse me um, at 16 and 17, she gives a slight edge, and she probably doesn't realize that this is going to be coming down to it. Gives a slight edge at number 16 for Horton Hears a Who. So Kate decided for Horton Hears a Who on this one. Moves on to the next round, 2-1. Faces another 2-1 in the next round. Next up, audience starts us off. Audience, it is either Night at the Museum, the first one, or Page Master. Night at the Museum gets that vote with a 28 vote difference. I'm gonna go for Page Master on this one. I enjoy. This is the second time I've voted against a Robin Williams movie, and I feel bad about that. But Page Master is so underrated,
It is.
and Christopher Lloyd, dude, yeah, he's great in this movie as well. Like he's great in this movie.
Christopher Lloyd is a
Like
national treasure.
I think Christopher Lloyd. We have our list for Wiseman this year. I think Christopher Lloyd may make the list for wise men next year, or
Yeah.
he may just have a tournament all of his own sometime next year if we happen to. Because we made our list for everybody out there. We made our list of topics that we're doing next year, but it's also until October. It's also very fluid because we're adding stuff to it. We're taking stuff out. We're doing a whole bunch of other stuff to it too. So we have a pretty much good idea. But uh, I think next year Christopher Lloyd is going to be getting a spot somewhere on that particular list. I enjoyed Night at the Museum. I enjoyed the third one more than anything else. And
Same here.
well, we're in a select few people because a majority of people liked either the second one or the first one more than the third one. So, but I'm also the same way with Back to the Future. I prefer the third Back to the Future, as campy as that is, to the first two.
I can't quite agree with you on that one. First one is still my favorite, but I do like the third one better than I like the second.
Yeah. Well, the
I
second
don't
one's
really love
very
the
dark.
second.
The second one is
Yeah.
it 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 kind of seemed like somebody was going through divorce they they were writing that type
Also,
thing.
like, to know in retrospect, like, how dirty they did Crispin Glover,
Yep.
it's kinda like is when you see it, you're like, "Aw."
Well, I mean,
And, like, and
they did him dirty, but he also didn't help the situation.
he didn't, but it's still one of those things where it's like, it's dark and you know that they did an actor dirty even if the actor was not
Well, yeah, but
necessarily in.
if you do a person dirty after the person, I'm not going to say deserves it, but kind of pushed you to do it type thing.
Yeah,
Like
but it's like
the the
that on top
studio,
of, like, the tone of the movie being what it was, it's just
yeah,
like, I don't know.
it
I
was.
don't I will take the 3rd one. Is the 3rd one the 3rd one also is just, like, there's something, like, really charming for.
Oh,
I know that might sound
it's
weird, but,
campy
like,
as
there's
hell.
something charming about the 3rd one.
Like the third Back to the Future movie is so campy, but it's cheesy as well. And it's just there's so many things about the movie that is absolutely fantastic. The love interest as well,
Yeah.
eventually going on to different things. She played the mom in Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, uh,
Mhm.
uh, as a whole bunch of other things as well. So I appreciate her. She may actually that person may just be somebody I may add to our next episode that we're doing for the recasting call. We're recording tomorrow night for the movie Arsenic and Old Lace, which will be replacing Field of Dreams because
Ooh.
that kind of fell through. So she may just be added to it. I don't know yet. The two old ladies are going to be two of the hardest people to cast because there's just so many options. Either way, next up or not next up. You started that one out, didn't you? No, I can't remember where we're at. I only you went Page Mastery,
Oh,
right?
I haven't voted yet.
Okay, so
We're on, the museum,
okay,
right?
audience started. I'm way off. Audience started that one off. All right, audience started that one off. Went with Night at the Museum. I went with Page Master. So Nancy, is it Page Master or Night at the Museum?
So this is hard for me because I do have a soft spot for the Night at the Museum. Again, it's one of those things where the cast in that film is so good. Like, the whole entire franchise, but, like, the cast is that first one has a bunch of comedy legends as the old security guards, including Dick Van Dyke, who I adore him. I really recommend people to read his memoir. It is a really good memoir. Um, and but Pagemaster is also it's so underrated. It was such like a gem of my childhood. So I'm gonna pass the parcel.
Pass the parcel going to Kate off of this between Night Museum and Page Master. Uh, Looks like it's going to be Night at the Museum gets that vote, but they're both in the top 10.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I'll say with Pagemaster, I've only seen the movie once, that's my other thing, but the book is so important. Like, in my childhood, it was, my brother's favorite book. It then because it was one of my brother's favorite book, it was introduced to a teacher at my elementary school who then made it part of the curriculum, and then it became a beloved book in the school to the point where they had a Pagemaster mural in front of the library
I
because kids loved the book so much.
I remember my introduction to Page Master was through the Book It program because they were doing a huge thing with the movie for that.
I
So
think that's probably how my brother was introduced to it. I remember my brother was introduced to it, and he showed it to his, oh, I don't remember what she taught when my brother got to our elementary school because we my family had moved, back into the country. And he introduced her to, the Pagemaster book, and then she introduced it, like, to the school, and then it was every, like, either 2nd or 3rd grade is all of them would, like, read the book as part of the curriculum, and then it became so beloved at the school that, like, they painted a mural in front of the library, and it's just I remember walking by that mural all the time. I remember reading that book. I remember it being in my brother's bedroom even as when he was a high school student. So, like, that's one of the things is it's that book is really important to me. I've only seen the movie once. I've seen Night at the Museum so many times, and I'm very happy with it going on.
Kate, by the way, I'm not going to read what the note she had for Night Museum, but Page Masters, she writes, "Mr. Hyde still haunts me."
Yep. From
So,
the book, Mr. Hyde would haunt me too. Yeah.
by the way, for everybody
By
out
the
there,
way, I think if people read the book.
I didn't know it
The
was a book.
illustrations are amazing. Yeah,
I didn't know it
it
was a
started
book.
off as a book.
So,
Yeah, so it is it's like a storybook, like a picture book. It has these incredibly vivid, detailed animations, and not animations, illustrations.
yeah, I got you.
It has, like, the illustrations in it are, like, so vibrant and vivid. And it's one of those where I would love is, like, maybe if I do get lucky to have another baby, like, I would love to just, like, get, like, illustrations from the book framed for a nursery wall because they're so beautiful.
Night Museum moves on 2-1 to the next round. Last up in round one, so the final two movies that we have on this list. I start this one off. It is either Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, or Home Alone. I I'm not a huge fan of the Chronicles of Narnia, any of them. I
I
didn't like the
no,
books
I
either though.
understand.
So like I just
Yeah,
it's just not it wasn't my flavor. I wasn't a huge fantasy person at the time. I'm not a huge fantasy person now, but like I
yeah,
can understand some of it. I appreciate because my daughter was a huge fan of it when she was growing up. Not only the books but the movies as well. So I appreciate that, but I'm a Home Alone fan. I'm a
yeah.
believer that the first Home Alone movie is better than the second Home Alone movie. Not by a lot. They're both really good. The third one absolutely sucked, but um, so screw the perfect trilogy on the entire Home Alone series. But Home Alone gets my vote off of that one. Nancy, is it Home Alone or Narnia?
Yeah, as much as Home Alone is like a cultural, like, is like so important in pop culture and stuff, and like, and I do appreciate it as like a Christmas movie. I will say that I love Chronicle of Narnia. I'm gonna vote for them because I don't know. I never could become a diehard Home Alone fan. I will watch it once at Christmas. But it's not one of those where like I get excited when it's on the docket for Christmas season. I have to watch it. It's one of those like, oh hey, it's on. Um, where Chronicles of Narnia is, um, it was as I am a huge fantasy fan. Obviously, I co-hosted a show that is inspired off of D&D. Uh, no one's surprised there. Um, I I was a huge fantasy fan. This was a fantasy. I'm also I am Christian, and this is a fantasy series that is so like involved in the Christian faith and is so much of a like dialogue on Christianity and stuff. So like I'm all here for it. I love this. Also the cast is great. And there are cast members in the sequels that my husband will say are now part of my personality because one of them is one of my biggest crushes, and that is Ben Barnes, and the other of them is my husband's doppelganger, Will Poulter. So, who he still gets teased by me and people who knew him in high school, even though the two of them are not doppelgangers anymore.
So it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to the audience and a 4-vote difference. So very, very close 4-vote difference. The audience decided to go with Chronicles of Narnia. So Narnia moves on 2-1 to the next round, faces a 3-0. We'll be
Thank
right
you,
back.
audience.
We'll be right back. Saving Nancy's butt off of that one. We'll be right back right after this break. Oh, I did not get to read what she said. Well, I'll get that when we start the next part.
Yeah.
Um, I get to talk to some pretty intriguing people on this show. One of the most intriguing people I get to talk to is actually Nancy. Nancy has been on a lot of previous shows. She's a huge Disney fan. I'm a huge Disney fan as well. So she is the number one person I wanted on today's show. And I'm actually kind of glad that it's a solo adventure today. Nancy, what you been up to?
Yeah, so not much crazy life of being a special needs stay-at-home mom, but also we are getting down to the wire, getting the last couple of episodes of season 2 of Dr. PF Jeremiah out. We have a couple of bonuses that are going to be coming up first because podcasting, as Freddie can tell you, snafus often happen, and to
It's very
conclude the
fluid.
storyline, conclude conclude this storyline, it has been a journey and a half. But we're so excited. We have a funeral coming up for Ruger. This is going to be a fun competition episode, and we have a whole. We're going to finally conclude Talia's storyline, and we're going to have Freddie on for that one, and we're going to conclude some other people's storylines. So we're so excited. Um, so like, yeah, stay tuned for what's going on with us.
With the entire PF Jeremiah and his frontal remit, by the way, we were talking about this a little bit before, mentioning we did a tournament that
Hmm.
the one that ended up winning the tournament is going to be the first episode of your third season. Now, I'm
Yes.
not going to reveal.
Yes.
I'm not going to reveal who that is, but the episode is out now. So if you want to go find that out, you can. But we got on multiple subjects about a whole bunch of different movies, which is the reason why I love this show, because it brings up so many different combinations and possibilities and everything else, which is the reason why I'm going to be part of the show in a different capacity in a different movie coming up, which did not win, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
is still one of my favorite movies of all time. So everybody look forward to that one.
I'll also just say before we go is, and Freddie talks about this in the episode, is you also get to see the four of us who picked movies, our personalities shine through because we each went with a niche area of like Freddie was picking like movies he wanted to introduce to Angus. Uh, our chief villain, Dr. Cage, was going on a punk theme. Natalia was going full blown musical theater, and then Lumiere was all of the anime. So it's check it out. It's really fun.
It was a. I when I put it up for the entire Facebook group, I was sitting there thinking like, I don't know half of the not half, at least a quarter of these movies. I had no idea what they were, and that was all of the anime stuff because like I don't deal with the anime stuff. Just in my personal life, I don't watch it, and it didn't. A lot of it didn't make it out of the first round.
Yeah,
One did for the audience, and it kind of surprised me. But then again, I was looking at the what it was going against, and I'm like, well, if any of them would have made it, it probably would have been that one. But the really funny part is that the audience vote. A majority of my movies that I picked, the audience moved farther along.
yeah,
But the audience vote, as you can tell from our show, only really gets used if as a lifeline type thing.
yeah,
And it was only used a couple of times during the actual show. So the audience didn't fare very well on the actual show. But it's a fun, it was a laugh riot. I'm about halfway through it now, uh, listening to it because I had to go to work a little bit today. But I would recommend going out and checking that out. Our teachers episode is actually out now too. It was a double drop, so both of those are out now. Welcome welcome back for round two. It looks like Nancy starts us off on this one. Nancy, excuse me. Nancy, is it Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Dodgeball?
yeah. You know, I voted for both of these, but I'm going Hitchhikers just because Hitchhikers is so like ingrained into me that like I have to vote for it.
Hitchhiker's Guide gets a vote. Audience between Hitchhiker and Dodgeball, it is a one vote difference between the two of these. And Dodgeball gets that particular vote, which means it is a tie-breaking decision coming down to me off of that one. I'm gonna go with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on this one. I appreciate Dodgeball, I really do, but I think Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of the most underrated movies of all time. And when you talk to people who have seen it and who love it, they really love it. There's no in between on that entire thing.
Yeah.
Kate, by the way, Dodgeball. Um, is somewhere on this list. Okay, in the teens, and then I'll go back up and say what she wrote for Home Alone. We did forget about that one. Dodgeball. She writes, "I cannot dodge a wrench." For for Home Alone, she replies, "For information on my love for this movie, please see the December 2024 recasting call episode recorded while I was driving home from Disney." Because yes, we did record. We we did a fantasy. I was about to say fantasy booking. We did a recasting of the original Home Alone movie with modern day people, and it was intriguing. Let's just say that at the very least. So Hitchhiker's Guide gets that vote, 2-1 to the next round. Audience starts this one off. It is either going to be Bruce Almighty or Men in Tights off of this one in a 34 vote difference off of this one. Men in Tights gets that particular vote. Men in Tights gets my vote as well because I mean they're this is not meant to sound in a bad way, but they're tights, and that could always be appreciated. So Men in Tights gets my vote. Nancy, is it Men in Tights or Bruce Almighty?
Oh, it's Men in Tights. Mel Brooks, baby.
In another 3 and out, Men in Tights moves on
It is an icon.
to the next round. I start this one off. It is either going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show or Free Guy. I did not vote for Free Guy last time because it was going against a really good comedy. Rocky Horror Picture Show, I also have some misgivings on it as well because it's kind of it's two movies in one. One's good and one's bad. Free Guy, for what it is, actually kept a level of goodness through the entire thing. Like there wasn't really any major down spots in that entire movie. So movie for movie, I'm gonna have to go with Free Guy off of this one. Nancy, is it Free Guy or Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Listen, it has to be Rocky Horror Picture Show. There's just like too much of a personal connection for me not to vote for it.
In a 12 vote difference, Free Guy gets that one. So 2-1 moves on to the next round. I keep forgetting to read off her stuff, and I do apologize. It was Bruce Almighty. She puts that in at number 8. She says, if you watch it in French, you can learn how to say "back to you, fuckers," which is funny until you remember at the worst time that your mom also speaks French and knows what you're saying.
I will say it also in honor of Bruce Almighty introduced us to the fact that Morgan Freeman should be like the voice inside your head and the voice of God, because Morgan Freeman should just be God.
Morgan Freeman might be God, which is the reason why it's just there. People just noticed it. Rocky Horror Picture Show on the opposite hand. At number 19, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I've never seen it all the way through, but I love the culture around it. I can't speak the language, but I understand it. So,
Yeah,
which is
it's a crazy culture. As someone who is a Rocky Horror Picture Show fan, and I'm married to one, um, it's a crazy culture, and it's something where I know so many people still like they struggle to understand, but the love and acceptance and just kookiness of the whole culture of people who do this and who do shadow casts and who go to theaters at midnight and trash them because of their love of this film. It's so much fun, and it's something that I do really love.
but yeah, Free Guy moves on 2-1 to the next round. Next up, Nancy starts us off. Nancy, is it Alvin and the Chipmunks or Night at the Museum?
Oh, it's Night at the Museum. As much as I'm connected to the IP of Alvin and the Chipmunks, that movie is annoying.
Yep. It gets a vote. The audience between Alvin and Night at the Museum in a 25 vote difference. Night at the Museum gets that particular vote as well. And I'm going to go with Night at the Museum as well because, of course, Robin Williams. Alvin, however, at number 26 for Kate, says Alvin the Chipmunks. My kids have recently discovered this. Okay, my kids have recently discovered this, and like Columbus and smallpox blankets, I wish they had left it undiscovered for a few hundred years more. I'm just burnt out. Kind of sums that up.
Listen, it's not as good as Alvin's Great Adventure. Like Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Great Adventure. That is iconic in a moment, and that movie is like my favorite of my childhoods. For anyone who has seen that '80s animated movie with Alvin, the Chipmunks, and the Chipettes traveling around the world in hot air balloons, and they're smuggling diamonds. It's a great time. That's the Alvin and Chipmunks movie that this generation deserves.
Yeah. I'm trying to cross off as I go along so it doesn't take me as long to find them on the list.
I apologize. I have to go off and just mention that movie because speaking of '80s being a wild time, oh boy, A
I,
a kids movie where your main characters are smuggling diamonds for for criminals is actually kind of ridiculous.
next up, make sure I have that right. Next up, audience starts us off. It is either going to be Girl Next Door or, in a very ironic twist, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? In a 10 vote difference off of this one, Oh Brother actually be getting the audience vote. I'm going to go. I enjoy the music off of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, but I enjoy the storyline and the ending of Girl Next Door more than Oh Brother. I think the ending of Oh Brother kind of left it lacking a lot. So it's a tied choice coming down to Nancy. Nancy, is it Oh Brother or Girl Next Door?
In honor of Angus, it's Oh Brother, which is one of his top 5 movies of all time.
Oh Brother
Right
moves
next to Rocky
on.
Horror.
Oh Brother moves on to the next round. Girl Next Door is officially out of the game. Which, there it is. Okay. So, and set at number 18, she did not have anything really written down for that one. 2-1, Brother. In the quarterfinals, I start this one off. It is either going to be Grandma's Boy or 10 Things I Hate About You. This is 100% 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah.
Don't get
No, same
don't
here.
get me wrong. I absolutely love Grandma's Boy. It's a very funny movie. Uh, Talking about being the king of the fucking jungle, but I gotta go with 10 Things I Hate About You. It's a cute movie. I really wish the cameraman would have gotten the opposite side of the entire of the window. However, because that entire soccer scene trying to explain the soccer moves is just iconic at that point. But I'm gonna go with 10 Things. Nancy, is it 10 Things or Grandma's Boy?
Oh, it's 10 things. Totally.
And in a 26 vote difference off of this one, 10 Things gets that vote as well. So it is a 3 and out. Faces another 3 and out as well for the next one, and that is I'm Sorry for everybody out there, including myself. In fact, if I go first on that one, I'm going to blow my load. So, Nancy, I'm sorry. For Grandma's Boy, at number 24, she didn't have anything to say about it. So, Kate's being silent on this particular one. Next up, Nancy starts this one off. Nancy, is it Horton, Here's a Who, or Anastasia?
Oh.
You still
Oh,
have steal.
so
You still have steal of votes, and you can pass it to Kate if you want.
yeah, I I will just right now before I make my decision do what I'm going to do because I am going to do something, but I just need to because I said I would talk about this film and I didn't realize that this film is going to go up against this other film. So we're going to just talk about Anastasia real quick. Anastasia is an icon of the 90s. It is probably one of it wasn't a Disney princess until recently, but it was my favorite Disney princess of the 90s. Um Also, we need to talk Don Bluth is when you know the history of Don Bluth and Disney is ridiculous. He was a Disney animator in the 80s and then he basically said see ya and F you and took half of the animators with him on the back of a pickup truck, went to go start their own studio, started Don Bluth Studios and did American Tail and a whole other Thumbelina and a whole slew of movies. Ended up doing Fox Animation and doing Anastasia and Titan AE. And I always tell Freddie the meme that lives on in my mind for Don Bluth is Don Bluth knows how to draw two types of men, twinks or bears. Um, and yeah, Anastasia is a great movie. I love the movie. And The Dark of the Night is a wonderful song. Christopher Lloyd is amazing. However, I'm still in a vote. I'm stealing Freddie's vote, and we are giving Horton Hears a Who some flowers, baby, because this movie is so wonderful and sentimental and beautiful. So, I'm gonna steal Freddie's vote, and we're going for Horton Hears a Who.
Well, Anastasia would have gotten my vote, so there's that. Um, I'm glad I didn't cross it off yet. Anastasia, however, was number 2 for Kate off of this one. Says Conan O'Brien once called her a Disney princess and technically was wrong, uh, even though Dawn had worked with Disney when the concept was first floated, but now she really is. She really is one, and the moral of the story is respect gingers. We can see the future. So,
Yep.
shout out to Kate on that particular one. Sorry, Kate, but Anastasia is out of the game. Horton moves on 2-1 the next round.
I'm sorry, Kate.
Audience starts this one off, and this is the last time for me to steal a vote. Or no, it's not. Sorry, I take it back. I'm
Oh,
way
it's
ahead of
not. Okay.
myself. I'm way ahead of myself. This is the end of round 2. Audience starts
Okay.
this off. Audience, it is either Sandlot coming in at 3-0 or Chronicles of Narnia at 2-1. Between Sandlot and Narnia in a 42 vote difference, Sandlot gets that particular vote. I'm going to go for Sandlot as well. It's baseball season. Sandlot's a damn good movie. We have not done it on the recasting call and probably won't because it is full of kids. And casting kid actors nowadays is really stupidly hard to do because it's the same freaking
Yeah.
people. And I feel sorry for Hollywood in the next 20 years because there's just no kid actors coming up. Um,
I mean,
but
with everything that's come out about kid actors over the past 20, 30 years, I
have
don't
been
blame
treated, yeah.
I don't blame there being so few kid actors. I'm kind of as a mom, I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. But it's also like, yeah, if you're
But
gonna have like full grown adults playing kids,
a lot of kid actors were being treated poorly by the parents too
yeah,
because they were a
and
paycheck at that point.
well, so that's the whole thing. I really if there are several children actors who like if you are interested in hearing about like this side of things, it's just to hear their side of things. Is Jeanette McCurdy is one that like really goes into that detail.
Oh,
Also, another one though who two who will go into it a bit, and I kind of like them a bit more because they're still acting and they kind of said that it worked out for them. But the Sprouse twins, they have both been very candid about their relationship with their mother and about how they only started acting at 2 because twins were
yeah.
something that people loved to use, and their mother always wanted their mother was a narcissist who always wanted to be a Hollywood star, and this was her way to become so. And then also we go into detail on our um episode on The Good Son over on Dr. PF Jeremiah about the Culkin siblings and their father. And just like those are some of the things that I would just like suggest people look into if you're ever like curious about the dark side of child actors. But like, yeah, I understand why
Yeah, but that's
there
kind of
seems
that's
to be
kind of my
growth.
point though, because not having n- knowing this now, but
Hmm.
not having children, not kid actors or even young adult actors like teenage actors in today's world, and even the last like 10 years with all this stuff coming out. Yeah, it would be scary, but it would also put the entire mama bear type stuff going on,
Yeah.
and it would actually protect the kids because the parents would be stepping up. So
Yeah.
I don't know how that would not have kid actors. I just think it'd have better parents behind the kids.
I think it just also is like parents, more and more people are like hesitant to exploit young children, and more parents are like also um there's more and more people when you have children like doing things like auditions and stuff. There's more like feel like there's more of this conversation of, well, does the kid really want to be here, or are they basically here as a dancing monkey? um and I also will say another thing is we're seeing, and we can talk about this with Bluey, is you're seeing more people who are protecting the
Hmm.
children. The Bluey, with the exception of the actress who plays Chloe, none of the children who do voices on Bluey, none of their names have been made public. Only the actress who plays Chloe, because she is a in work Australian child actress. She's done episodes of Peppa Pig and stuff. She's the only reason why her name is released. But none of the other ones have ever been released, and they have said it's because they will protect those children. And I think we're seeing more and more studios who will have like children doing voice acting and stuff where they rally behind those kids to let them have like a normal life.
Unfortunately, you can't really do that. Well, you can. It's just it goes on more to the fans than
Oh,
anybody else when there's actually live acting type people, though.
uh,
So,
another shout out for another place to check out if you want to hear like people retrospect on like being child actors. Unfortunately, this is behind a paywall. You have to be a subscription to Critical Role's Beacon service, but Critical Role has two of their cast members, Ashley Johnson and Taliesin Jaffe, were children actors. Taliesin in the 80s, Ashley in the 90s. And they have a wonderful podcast called Weird Kids, where they do talk about their experience and how it shaped them to basically become the gothy kind of weird actor adults that they are now. And they like, as they say, like they love talking to each other because they have similar types of damage from being child actors in Hollywood, and they have wonderful conversations where they get very candid about like their experiences. Him in the 80s with films like Mr. Mom, and he did a whole slew of television. He also was from a showbiz family. His grandfather was a very famous screenwriter, and then she was a pageant kid, and she did oh, was it Growing Pains? She did a TV show in the 90s where she started at like 4 or 5.
I don't
And
think
like it's
Growing
just
Pains
it's
was the '90s. I think that was the '80s because that was a Michael J. Fox show. I think.
no, it's not Growing Pains then. Oh, it has a Seegers,
I don't know,
because she played Chrissy Seeger. I don't know what show it was. Someone please correct me. But like,
but
yeah,
so what's your vote in this? Because I'm going to Sandlot. So
Sandlot.
Sandlot 3 and out. Good, 'cause that's what I had written down, and I couldn't remember. Sandlot moves on 3-0. Faced another 3-0, which means two of these matchups are both split votes, and the other two matchups are all the rest of the 3-0s last up.
Sorry,
The fuck was that?
that's my sneeze. That's why I put my hand up, because I'm just like, I need to warn him so he can edit it, because my sneeze is ridiculous.
Oh, and by the way, the three of the four movies that went off on sweeps last round also have no votes against them. So we have a possibility of a pearl necklace in another Disney episode
Mm.
ish. But we're coming down to our last section on this. We'll be right back right after this break. I am your host, Freddie Fisher, and I don't only host this show, but I host multiple other shows. Number one is, of course, Bracket Bastards. If you don't know what this show is by now, I'm sorry. We have We have a lot of fun on this show talking about different matchups, different combinations, and different people. And if you want to be part of this show, you're more than welcome to join us. We accept everybody from preachers to porn stars, and they're always more fun when they're on the same show. So if you have a story to tell or don't have a story to tell, or realistically, if you just want your opinion known, please bring it to the stage. We'll be more than happy to have you. The next couple of weeks, we have the second half of this, which is Disney Owns Part 2. It's a little bit. We're doing comedy and family movies this week. We'll be doing next week is more the serious side, the uh, Die Hard and stuff like that. But we also be finding a winner for the entire thing. Jennifer Coolidge is after that, then Gene Hackman, and then we're doing a 2-week special on music, number one songs, or at least the higher echelon of songs from 1960 all the way up to 2024. So there is a large collection of really good music off of that one. So make sure to check that one out. Next up is, of course, Central Booking. It's a pro wrestling podcast where every opportunity we have to show, we have a new topic coming up. This next week, we are talking about retirements. So the next people who are going to be retiring, we gotta, and who we want them to retire, because a lot of people who have retired in the past had some really really bad retirement matches. On the flip side of that, some people have some really good retirement matches and gone off on the entire side. The recasting call is a show where myself and Kate, we've been talking about Kate a little bit on today's show because she gave her opinions because she could not be on the show today. She has baby duty, cleaning up some baby duty as well. But in the next couple of months, we have Arsenic and Old Lace, Casper, which we do have a guest for, and I'm looking forward to that one. And for November's football season, so we have the replacements, It's a Wonderful Life, and then starting off next year for my birthday, because we're doing a birthday movie with Liar Liar. Bastards Backstage, as always, is the interview show where we take 20 questions, but with those 20 questions, there are millions of answers. Everybody gets the same questions, and we have fun either way. It's a no holds barred conversation between me and whatever guest we happen to have that particular time. If you want to be on any of these shows, including this one, message us at our email address, bracketty2r at yahoo.com. That is bracketty2r at yahoo.com to get in. Not only work for this show as well, but the rest of our shows. And if you want to be on the entire PF Jeremiah and his infernal roommate, I will be more than happy to forward that information to the people who are heading that thing up as well. Catch up. Audience doesn't have anything, but you still have Past Parcel. Goes up for these 4 matchups. I have Steal a Vote and Blowing a Load, and Past Parcel on the next 4. I also have Blowing a Load all the way to the end of the game.
Okay.
So all you have now, Past Parcel, I have everything intact. I haven't been able to use anything yet. So welcome back for round 3 and beyond. It looks like looks like I start this one off. And I do get to start this one off, which is really nice. And I'm going to be playing this button because I am going to blow my load on this one. Nancy gets to start this one off. Nancy, knowing that you only have Past the Parcel left, is it 10 Things I Hate About You or Men in Tights?
Oh, as much as I love and I have like very very strong feelings about 10 Things About I Hate About You. Mel Brooks, man. The guy is an icon. I have so much love for him. I love all of his movies, nearly all of his movies. So I really have to like go out there and say Men in Tights.
Men in Tights
Also
gets
hilarious that now Disney owns it.
Men in Tights gets a vote. It's also the first vote against 10 Things I Hate About You, so that is no longer an option for the Pearl Necklace. The audience vote between 10 Things and Men in Tights, and an 11 vote difference. Men in Tights gets that one. I'm going to give it to Men in Tights. I am a huge Mel Brooks fan. This is also a movie that we did on the recasting call. It is Kate's favorite show that we've done on the recasting call, because she recasted Jason Momoa as Little John, just for the scene where he's drowning in the little creek to to see Aquaman not being able to swim.
That's actually perfect casting because
It
also
really is.
it's one of the things where Dave has like said that Jason Momoa went from being like this kind of intimidating like fantasy actor in Game of Thrones, so now he's just like a Jack Black kind of goofy sidekick guy,
But
but he
he
does
does
it
a
so
lot.
well.
He does both of them really well.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna give him props as much as I can, because he's an Iowa boy,
yeah.
and I'm an
Well,
Iowa boy.
I love him and I give him massive respect, but it's one of those things where it's one of those about faces where you're just like, I did not see this happening, but you are amazing at
Well,
both.
it's the same thing as Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's
Yeah,
doing comedy now, comedy now as well, but he can still do the entire action movies.
yeah,
Jason Momoa just did a another one on Apple TV
yeah.
about
And he's gonna be back in
Kingdom.
June too.
Yeah,
So
so doing a whole bunch of stuff, and he's just I applaud him. I'm gonna go for but I'm gonna go for Men in Tights on this one as well. I'm gonna keep that streak alive. 3-0 to the next round. The only thing I have left is steal a vote. Uh, Nancy starts us off on this one. Nancy, is it Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Oh
mhm.
Brother, Where Art Thou?
David, I love you. You are the love of my life and the father of my child, and you're currently watching him. I'm sorry, Hitchhikers is better than No Brother. Hitchhikers is so much better than Oh Brother. And you know it, and I know it, and I'm voting for Hitchhikers.
In a 20 vote difference off of this one, Oh Brother gets that particular vote. I'm gonna I'm gonna get revenge for David on this one, and I'm gonna go for Oh Brother. Just to spite Nancy. That's it. That's the only reason.
Listen, I angered a lot of people picking Horton Hears a Who over Anastasia. I deserve it.
Yeah, yeah, you did. Especially because I didn't I ironically enough did not see that one coming, and I already wrote down the votes, so I already had it written down on the next one. I had to cross off everything and correct it at that point. Oh brother moves on. Hitchhiker's Guide. I've been slacking on Kate here. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is not moving on. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so at number 20, she says, it's at number 20. It says, I'm not sure if I've seen this or the the Thura, but I stand by my ranking. So, uh, Kate says number 20 off of that one. 10 Things I Hate About You uh, is at number 10, ironically enough. Heath Ledger is secretly alive somewhere. He is my Elvis, and I will accept no contradiction. And of course, Narnia, because I skipped that one as well, and I apologize. Uh, Narnia was in the top 10. It says, I love the books so much that it would be higher if it included Prince Caspian or the sequels. So,
Yeah.
but out of that, I'm going to update my things a little bit because Hitchhikers and I already got Narnia. So, next up, audience starts us off. Between the audience, it is either Free Guy or Horton Hears a Who. Both of these are 2-1 last round. And if 14 vote difference, Free Guy gets that vote. Free Guy actually did pretty well as far as stuff goes. I'm gonna go for Free Guy. A lot of the references, um, and Free Guy were absolutely fantastic. So just stupid stuff too,
Mhm.
and being able to, I would love to see them. I know they'll never do this, but like a San Andreas video game, bringing
Yeah.
that to life, I think would be great as the game, not as a movie that kind of looks like it because they've done it so many times, but as the actual game, just to do that, I think it'd be great. It wouldn't be a game that I would want to do VR in though,
Yeah.
because I guarantee you I would get my ass beat multiple times. Free Guy gets my vote. Nancy, finish us up.
Yeah, no, it would have been Free Guy. It totally would have. Free Guy is a fun time. Um, and as much as I angered the nation with pushing Horton Hears a Who this far, um, Free Guy is better. A little by a little bit. So I'm gonna go with Free Guy.
Free Guy moves on. Horton, by the way, between as far as Kate goes, in the upper teens, at ranked at number 16, does not really give me any kind of notes on it though. So Horton goes out quietly. Free Guy moves on 3-0. Last up in round three, I start us off. It is either going to be Night at the Museum or Sandlot. I'm going to end this right now. I am going to steal the audience vote
Oh, okay.
off of this one,
Hmm.
just because I already screwed you over on the entire Oh Brother thing, and it's not going to matter either way because Night at the Museum is going to be moving on, and hopefully, if because I know that the audience vote would have gone for Sandlot,
Yeah.
so this might be a possibility of another 3-0 in the final round. So, audience, uh, before I give the vote to Nancy because I stole the audience's vote, between Sandlot and Night at the Museum, it was a 21 vote difference on that one, but I stole the audience's vote. Nancy, what would your vote been?
Yeah, it would have been Night at Museum on behalf of this movie, and then of course the entire franchise, which, with the exception of Disney's Direct to Disney Plus's recent addition, the entire franchise is actually like it's very cute. It's a movie that my little guy has loved. Also, the first one is just again so many of these films. The casts are incredible, and with Dick Van Dyke playing the villain, and you have Robin Williams, you have Owen Wilson. Um, oh my God, I can't remember. Is it Steve Coogan or whoever? But the actor who plays the Roman Knight is another great comedic actor. Um, it's just it is Rami Malek. This is one of his first roles.
Mm-hmm.
Playing the Pharaoh is it's a great film, and it's a really cute film, and it's a good film to watch with your family,
And then,
and get a
then
little
in
bit
the
of history
third
with us.
movie, his dad is like Sir Ben Kingsley. That's
Yes,
a that was a pull.
yes. You also had Hank Azaria. Um,
Yeah.
shows up as like a brother or a cousin. Um, also, you have like later in the cast, we add people like Amy Adams, um, Dan Stevens from Downton Abbey, uh, Rebel Wilson comes in after in the movies after Robin Williams had passed away. Uh, she comes in as their additional like comedic sidekick to add a little bit more of comedy to it. Also, I don't know. I don't think she's a big name. I don't know the actress's name, but the actress who plays Sacagawea is I love the character of Sacagawea. Wait, Sacagawea in the movies. She is so good. It's just it's such a cute franchise, and I will also say that one of my favorite like family film jokes is where he leaves his cell phone in like the 1940s, and then they do the credit scene where it's like Tommy Motorola.
Yeah.
What? for dinner in a second, Mom.
That's not how time travel works, but all right. Okay. Sandlot does not move on. Kate's response to Sandlot off of this one was number 6. So in the top 10 on this one. Reminds me of my son's baseball team. Love those little nuggets. I really hope they're sponsored by like a local KFC or something like that. That'd be great. Or McDonald's. Now the museum moves on, and audience. So I started that one off. Okay, so Nancy starts this one off. Nancy, I'm going to give you these last 4 movies. You pick one of them, and that's what we're going to start off with. Is it Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Night at the Museum, Men in Tights, or Free Guy?
It's going to be Men in Tights.
Men in Tights gets the bid, which means it is going to get going against Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh my gosh. And I've used all my lifelines.
Yep. There are no more lifelines on the board after that.
Yeah, so this is F you, Freddie, because now by getting revenge on my husband, you have now put me in a very, very precarious spot where like I have to pick whether I go with a film by one of my favorite directors of all time, even if it's not my favorite film by him, or I go with one of my husband's like for the entirety that I've known him, a film that is one of his favorites. And like it's this is the Sophie's choice is because Robin Hood Men in Tights is so amazing. It's so funny. It's such a so many great jokes. It definitely is among like all of Mel Brooks' films are just like comedy gold, except for Dracula, Undead, and Loving It. That one can stay in the coffin. But then again, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? My husband is very, very much loves this film. He used to play me the soundtrack all the time in the car. He still will randomly walk around the house singing I'm a Man of Constant Sorrow. Oh brother, let's go down, let's go down, he sings that all the time too. Just randomly, just Angus random. Imagine Angus randomly thinking that because I've heard him as Angus singing that song. So I think I know what Freddie may vote for. Oh no, I can't do that. Oh, David, I love you. I forget everything I said in the last round about Oh Brother against Hitchhikers. It's a great film. I know you love it. I'm voting for Men in Tights.
Men in Tights gets a vote. It also gets a win because the audience went with Men in Tights as well in a 13 vote difference between the two of those. So it gets a vote. I would have also gone with Men in Tights. I voted against Oh Brother, Where Art Thou at least once. And
Yeah.
that one, the only reason I voted for Oh Brother, Where Art Thou last time is just to pay David back. So
Yeah.
it goes out 3-0. Next up, on the flip side of that, when the audience starts us off, it is either going to be Free Guy or Night at the Museum in a. That's a lot of math. It looks like 15 vote difference off of this one. Night at the Museum gets that vote. Both of these have had votes against them previous rounds. They're probably tied as far as that goes, to be perfectly honest. I'm gonna go for Night at the Museum on here. I voted against Robin Williams enough to cause myself bad karma. So I don't want to add to it. I'm going to go for Night at the Museum. Nancy, finish this up. Is the Night at the Museum or Free Guy?
Yeah, no, it's Night at the Museum, if not solely because of it being the older movie, and like, so I've had more times to rewatch it. I've had more of a history with this film. Free Guy is a cute film and it's a good film, but it's not subversive or too amazing of a film for as young as it is to basically um usurp any of these movies too much. Um, I stand by. It's a good film. It's a great film. Just Night at the Museum just has been around longer, has so much more lore and canon, and I have more history of that film. I've seen it more times. I have way more jokes in that film that just like stick in my head. I would love if I would. It has me convinced that maybe dinosaurs were like dogs and we're just giant puppies. You know. I like that whole idea of the skeleton just being a massive old Labrador chasing him around, just wanting to play fetch. So like, yeah, I'm going Night Museum.
Night at the Museum moves on to the finals. Free Guy and Oh Brother moves down to third place. We'll be getting to those. Uh, yeah, because we haven't. Because these decide what we're gonna. Kate goes as well. So I start this one off between Free Guy and Old Brother. I'm gonna go with Free Guy on this one. I'm a bigger fan of Ryan Reynolds and Free Guy than Old Brother. I like the music. Yes, Soggy Bottom Boys are going to be in that future episode, but Free Guy gets my bid right now. Nancy, is it Free Guy or Oh Brother?
Yeah, I think, and as much as David loves this movie, I think David may agree with me on this one. He may not. He may say that they're kind of tied, but I think Free Guy just has a slight edge on a brother. We'll see how Free Guy does in future years, but both me and David have said Free Guy is a film that it should have done so much better than it did, and it probably was only reason why it didn't do super well was because of timing,
Yeah.
because it was heavily impacted by the pandemic and also just Disney going into streaming full force and buying Fox. So I will say that like we'll see how time does for Free Guy, but Free Guy just barely edges past. So brother,
Well, it ended up being a tie-breaking decision off of that one because the audience will be going for Oh Brother
yeah,
off of that one in a 7. Yep, 7 vote difference. Trying to do easy math here. 7 vote difference, which makes it 2-1. Free Guy gets third place. Finals. Nancy starts us off. One of these, not to affect your decision, but one of the. Oh, by the way, oh brother, where art thou? Before I forget this. Uh, um, no, same thing as Rookie of the Year. No, I saw it and I liked it. Could not tell you. Could not tell you anything further. So, which is why it's tied with Rookie of the Year on that one for 22 and 23.
yeah,
Free Guy on the opposite hand of that. So much better than I thought it'd be.
yeah.
So,
I think a lot of people were of that camp when, because I know even me and David, we saw the trailer like, oh, this is gonna be so silly and stupid, and then after everything happened and we finally got a chance to watch it, we turned to each other like, oh, that was actually pretty enjoyable. That was a pretty good movie.
so Nancy starts this one off. I can tell you right now that these two are number 1 and number 5 on the on Kate's list.
Yeah.
So I think we did pretty much right by her. Um, number two was actually getting number two getting out was actually your fault because you decided to put Horton through. So
I know, but
that's
I I
that.
I I I will defend myself right now for America and to Kate. Like, I'm sorry I did that, but Anastasia is gonna always be iconic, and people are always going to celebrate Anastasia, and she's a Disney princess now. She has part merchandise in the Disney parks. Like, Anastasia deserves all the flowers and love and should be on everyone's like lists of best movies. However, Horton is one of those movies where I stand by. That is a perfect kids animated movie, and it does not nearly get enough love. It's also, I will defend this. I'm only going off of the theatrically released Doctor Who movies in like the past 20 years. It is probably the best one of all of them. It's probably the number one of those. In my books, is you can say what you like about the Ron Howard, Jim Carrey, the Grinch. You can say what you like about Lorax. We all know no one is uh, singing praises for Cat in the Hat. Horton Hears a Who is fantastically done. It's a phenomenal script, good comedy, an amazing cast. It is, with the exception of them having Jesse McCartney in the cast, I don't think there's anything about the movie that feels super dated. I have revisited it. It also captures the mood of the book perfectly while also extending it just enough so that it is a standard film, because we're turning a children's storybook into a 90-minute film, which mileage may vary with people. So like I stand by that. That's why the only reason why I did that is people are going to praise Anastasia forever. I will praise Anastasia. Horton gets pushed on the rug too much, and I just wanted justice for Horton.
I just thought I lost the end of my pen into the cap, but apparently I got it back out. So you start us off.
Yes.
The only other fact I can tell you is that, and without knowing what the audience vote is, Men in Tights is has not gotten a vote against it
Yeah.
through this entire thing.
Yep.
Is it Men in Tights or Night at the Museum?
And at least for me, Men in Tights is not going to. It's Men in Tights.
Men in
As much as
Tights.
I said that I have like I like the Night Museum franchise. I'm sorry, it does not. That first movie or any of the movies does not hold a candle up to Men in Tights.
Men in Tights gets a vote from Nancy in a 5 vote difference between the two. Men in Tights gets the audience vote as well.
Hmm.
I'm a huge Robin Williams fan.
Yeah.
I don't think a Robin Williams movie has ever won a tournament ever since Q voted against Robin Williams out of spite. Now I can go back on that. I'm not for certain if this is true or not, but like I'm pretty sure a Robin Williams movie has
You
never
kind of have a
actually.
Robin Williams bracket, right?
Well, we had one, but like that's kind of a that had to win it type thing.
Yeah. Fair
And it
enough.
may not have been because of Robin Williams either. It may have been just because of. And I think that was no. I take that back. Aladdin. Aladdin has won multiple tournaments, but and that is mostly because of Genie. So yeah, I'm gonna take that back. So which makes my this vote a lot easier. No, knowing that as well, I'm going to give it to Men in Tights basically because this is Kate's. Um, it's Kate's number one on this entire list
Yeah.
is Men in Tights. And the reason, and she said Men in Tights, and her quotations on this was obviously.
Yeah.
So Men in Tights will be getting my vote for Kate. for multiple reasons on that one, and just because it is a history-making event for the second time only.
Pearl necklace!
You know what? Actually, I think I prematurely did that because we have next week.
Oh yeah, so we have to wait and see. Oh, we have to.
Pearl necklace
Pearl necklace pending.
possibility. I mean, technically, it did make it through a tournament, at least this week's tournament with it. So I would at least give it maybe not the full pearl necklace, but at least a splooge. I missed splooged, like a shot in the eye type thing. I don't know. Minute Titus gets the win this week. Then Night at the Museum, second place. Free Guy in third, and Oh Brother gets rounded out on the fourth view. You can find Nancy at.
You can find me over on the Dr. P.F. Jeremiah and his Infernal Roommate podcast. That's pretty much the only place that you can find me because do not, unless you have met me, do not seek me out in Facebook. I will dodge you. So yeah, find me over on the podcast. It's a fun time. We have fun. We have exciting things in the plan. Season 3 is going to be fun because I may be playing an additional character in season 3. So stay tuned.
And of course, I'm your host, Freddie Fish. You can find me at that on Facebook. While you're on Facebook, check out Bracket Bastards the Audience Vote, where you can vote along with us every single week. This upcoming tournament for the other side will be starting tonight. I will be taking care of it as soon as I get back upstairs after doing this particular show. On Twitter, I'm at Fisher777. We're all at Bracket Pod on Instagram. As always, you can find me at Can't Lick Me, not one word. I like to leave every single show with a quote. Today's quote is from Baz Luhrmann. If you know who Baz Luhrmann is, you know that this person's absolutely nuts. And this one actually comes from one of my favorite songs. It says, "Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth." Which, for everybody who doesn't know that, that is the "Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen" song, which was famous around the time that I graduated middle school. So, take that as what it is. Have a good week, guys.